Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Happy Friday to you. I go live every Friday and we do a coffee talk in my private group called Bold Confidence with Gina. And yes, today I actually do not have Bailey's in my coffee, but you're welcome to have some Bailey's in your coffee. But this conversation is totally about, it's a story that you're not going to believe, and I can't even believe it, but it's one of those story times or those stories where you just need some coffee and Bailey's and a scone and a donut and a pancake and a waffle and whatever other carb that we can find we need. So something really crazy happened to me last weekend, and I can talk about it today. Let's just say that. I want to share this with you because I know many of us have these things that happen to us, and we don't know why the freak these things happen to us. And I'm talking about in business. I'm talking about things that happen to us either in business or things that you have set that you want to do, but things just fail and fall apart. And you're like, what the heck? So I'm going to share a story with you, so you're going to have to bear with me. I will make it really quick, but it's not a boring story. I will assure you that. So I want to say hi. Looks like Jennifer's on. My girl, Jennifer. Thank you for joining, Jennifer. This is a crazy story, girl. And be sure and say hi to me in here. Or good morning, and tell me if you're on your first cup, second cup. Do you have a shot of Bailey's in your coffee today? I don't, but I need to. And then if you're watching replay, please put hashtag replay for me so I can say hi to you. I love my group here. This Bold Confidence group is all about us not feeling alone. It's a community for women that are building confidence in our life, in our business, in our fitness, in all aspects. But I truly believe if we have inner confidence within ourselves, then it blends into everything else that we're doing. So back to my story that needs coffee and Bailey's. So I think I'm going to sit down for this story. So again, I'm going to make this awfully quick, but it's a story that you're not going to believe. So first of all, Jennifer knows. I would have a shot, but it was, yeah, you're at work, sorry. I'm at work too. So you need to work from home so you can have a shot of Bailey's in your coffee. So back to my story. Okay, so as many of you guys may or may not know, I am writing a book. And so it's been a journey. So I'm one of those people, and I'm not saying this negatively, but I'm one of those people that I'm not a writer. I'm really not. What the hell? What the hell am I writing a book for? I am slightly dyslexic, and I've never been diagnosed with it, but I know I am, because if you see my words and my writing, you'll know for sure. But I shouldn't say I can't write, because I love writing. I just am not a writer. And I don't have the best grammar, it's hard for me. I'm one of those, it's hard to put what I have in my head into words. So writing a book feels, I hate saying all this because it sounds so negative, but it feels impossible for me, okay? But long story short, about 2 years ago, I had a publisher reach out to me about writing a book and about my story and the transformation that's happened. So for the last 2 years, I've been writing a book. And I wrote my first book. It hasn't been published, but I wrote it, and I was just vomiting things that I know I really didn't have a true purpose. I mean, I did have a purpose in it, but it just didn't make sense to me. Well, in the last couple months, I have had this new vision of a book called Bold Confidence, 50 and Fabulous. And yeah, so that's the name of the book, and that's going to come out this year. But as I was saying, I don't feel like I'm a writer. What the hell am I doing writing a book? Like, I'm not one of those people. But when this publisher came to me and said, hey, I really like your story. I really have seen you grow. Would you be interested in doing this? I was like, oh gosh, crazy thing is I don't know, but I'll give it a try. Anyway, he has been my publisher has been my accountability partner, which is lesson number 1 in here. Always have accountability partner. Always have somebody that's watching you that will pick you up. Because last weekend during my crisis, I fell hard. I will fast forward to last weekend. So last weekend, I rented a hotel room just 3 miles from my house. And I stayed there Friday to Sunday. I shut my phone, no husband, no kids, nobody. And I went to this hotel with the intentions of writing my book. And I did. And it was the most amazing experience at this hotel. I literally, Friday, I checked in at 3, but for 6 hours before 3 o'clock, I was listening to praise and worship music. I was listening to rap music. I was listening to country music. I was listening to Disney music. I was just really trying to get in the zone of a writer's zone and really, sometimes when you're writing a book, I don't know, I'm learning. Like sometimes when you write a book, just so randomly, we write these books all the time, right? But I was getting in the mood. I was getting in the writer's zone because I've got to get my place in a zone where, and sometimes when you're writing a book too, you have to recreate or put yourself in a situation that you don't want to talk about. When my family fell apart, when my husband told me to get the hell out of this house, and I have to write about it. I have to kind of get in that zone. I don't get in the zone to where I'm fully in it and emotionally traumatized. I'm not. I've healed from it. My marriage has healed, and it's now something he's okay with me talking about, and I'm okay talking about it. But this weekend, I wrote about that. I wrote about, teenage suicide. I talked about just trauma that's happened in our life. I talked about gratitude and my power word. And I talked about Stephanie Peters, how she changed my life. I just talked about where I've come from and what I'm doing and where I'm going. But the book 50 and Fabulous is all about being fabulous. It's a 10-step guide on getting to be fabulous at any age. And that the preface of the book is about being fabulous at any age. You can be 30 and fabulous. You can be 40 and fabulous. You can be 60, 70 and fabulous. It's never too late. So that's what this book is about, but it happens to be 50 and fabulous for me. So I wrote all weekend, guys. I stayed in this hotel down the road from my house, no interruptions. I was in the zone. I was listening to Disney music, Kelly Clarkson, like Ugly Dolls, like every song from Ugly Dolls I was listening to. I was listening to Broken and Beautiful, which will be in my book. There's a chapter in my book that talks about music and how it empowers you. And I even put my top 5 favorite in there that are kick, but like going to make you cry, break down, but also going to make you freaking rise up. And so that's what this book is about. It's about freaking rising up. That's what the back of it is going to say. But I wrote all weekend. I literally cried. I laughed. I forgot something, so I had to drive home, come get it, go back. And then I was in the zone. I literally laid on the bed, took notes, listened to music. I felt so empowered, felt so good. I was so in the writing zone, right? For someone that's slightly dyslexic, can't write, doesn't think it's achievable, I think it's impossible. And here I am writing this book. And so I'm feeling good about myself because I wrote all weekend. I probably completed, if not 50% of the book or more of the book this weekend. So I'll fast forward a little bit. So Saturday morning, I had my cheat meal. I had Whataburger, by the way, if you're wondering, but it was amazing. But long story short, if you know my fitness journey, I always post my cheat meals. But after I had that cheat meal, I felt like crap and wanted to go to bed. My arm is tingly, it's in pain. So I had done enough writing Friday and Saturday. I went to bed early Saturday night with the intentions of getting up at 5:30 in the morning. Set my alarm, got up Sunday morning at 5:30, had my coffee. It felt good. My arm felt really Like it was hurting, but not as bad as it was the night before. I'm feeling good. I end up writing 2 more chapters Sunday morning. About 8:30 in the morning, at 8:30 in the morning, I noticed that my computer came unplugged. And this is a computer my husband gave me to use because my publisher says that I need a Word document to write my book, not my Chromebook that I have that's $200. So I noticed it unplugged, and I was like, I suddenly was like, okay, crap, what just happened? And so I plug it in, power on, look at everything, and the last chapter that I just wrote from 6 in the morning to 8 was all gone. I'm like, I started bawling like a baby. This is not the crisis yet. This is a crisis, but the big crisis is coming. So stay with me in the story. But I was bawling my eyes out, guys. Guys, have you ever done something or something happened to you so bad that you're like, you can't catch your breath? You're like, and then I'm crying and mad at myself. I'm like, Gina, get your crap together. You know, you can do this. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not a writer. And then I'm like battling with myself, you know, get your crap together, get it together, Gina. And then the other part of me is like, no, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get my crap together. And so I was like, okay, I looked at the time, checkout's not till 11, but I'm going to text my husband right now and tell him to call the hotel, check me out at 12. So boom, all done. Hands on the keyboard, I'm writing the last chapter that I just lost. I write it all over again, type it all over, and it was good. It was good, guys, good. And then I keep typing. It's about 11:30. I'm like, okay, I need to clean up and get out of here. So I literally, this was me, here's me, okay, here's me. My computer's right here, here's my mouse. I'm like, click, click, save. And I'm like, for a moment, I'm like, okay, maybe I should email my whole book to myself or to somebody else so it's not lost in case something happens. So I'm like, click, 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 save, save, save. You know, I'm triple checking, saving myself, thinking I've got to make sure this is saved, right? I already had it unplugged, lost 1 chapter. I can't lose this book. And so I save again, and then my brain goes, okay, well, why don't you email it to yourself? So I do that. I go ahead, well, I attempted to email it to myself, but it says that my computer is not logged in to my Gmail account. And I was being lazy, didn't want to spend the time to download and to, you know, put my Gmail up, create it, go through the password, and just do all that. My arm was hurting. I was lazy. I was like, I saved it, right? Like, I'm not going to lose this. I saved my whole book. Click, click, click. I saved again. I'm not kidding you guys. I must have hit save probably about 12, 13, 14, maybe 20 times. And so it's 11:30. I need to check out of this hotel. I need to get out. They've already knocked on my door, even though I told them I was leaving at 12. And so I unplug my computer, I pack up, I go home. I literally go home, plug in my computer in my office, and when I plugged it in and logged in and went to my document that says 10 steps, guided steps to 50 and fabulous, because that's the name of the book, I go to it, click on it, and nothing. Nothing's there. I'm like, this is me at my house. No. Let's start over. Let me back up. I log out. I log back in, and I go to my document folder. I try to open it, and then these question marks come up. Just a ton of question marks. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna lose my SHIT. I'm gonna lose it. I was not smiling. I was actually just taking big deep breaths, going no, and I'm shaking. I'm panicking, like this can't happen. And all of a sudden I started couldn't catch my breath and started kind of crying. I've already cried my eyes out at 8:30 in the morning. Remember when I lost my one chapter? And I cried like a baby in a panic. And then so now losing the whole book, I'm beside myself. Like, this cannot be happening right now. This can't. It can't be. This is a joke. I really felt like it was a joke. Like, God's playing a joke on me. The devil's playing. I don't know. Somebody is playing a joke on me right now. And it's not funny. So I like put my computer down, flipped it back up, logged in everything, and again, all these question marks. I text my husband. I'm like, oh my God, guide me through this. What am I doing wrong? And I looked at other documents in my folder. Like, remember earlier in this live, I told you guys I've been writing for 2 years. So my first book that's not published, that's all of mumbo and jumbo stuff, is still there. All that is still there. But this one document is gone, which is everything that I wrote this weekend, last weekend. Everything I wrote, everything. Chapters, stories, compelling stories I shared about my life, scriptures, steps on how to become a better you in different angles of your life, and talking about you guys and sharing how to have a come to Jesus talk with yourself, how to really look at yourself centerly and be like, what are you going to do about it? And having that conversation with yourself. And I share the conversation that I had with myself about that and how I drew the line. And all that was shared and compelled last weekend in my book that is now completely gone. Just gone. My husband did take, in case you guys are wondering, my husband the next day took it to Geek Squad because, geeks are supposed to be able to recover things. So long story short, they came back and said that one document was encrypted and hacked. And it was probably from the hotel where I was at, which it wasn't like a low down trucker stop hotel. I mean, it was a 3.5, 4-star hotel. It wasn't really super bougie, but it was a Comfort Suites. They're pretty nice. I was there, and it was clean. It was a good hotel. But now the Geek Squad says that it's been encrypted. It's gone. It cannot be recovered. So once again, I can't bawl because I've already bawled my eyes out. So I immediately text my publisher. I text him. I'm going off the top of my head. I text him because I was done. I was like, this is not for me. And I know you guys can experience this where you've done something, you worked so hard for it. If it's your network marketing, maybe it's your certification for something, maybe it's you're starting a business, maybe you have a great idea about something and you're just like, I know this is meant for me. I'm going to do this. And then all the hell breaks freaking loose. And you're like, this isn't for me. I can't do this. This isn't for me. This isn't for me. What the hell am I doing? And I literally had this conversation with myself. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. The bully self in me, we all have the bully that lives within us. And my bully self was like, you can't write a book, Gina. Look at you. You can't even save a freaking document. You lost everything. Get over it. So I text my publisher. I text him and said, listen, thanks for your support. Thanks for everything. I actually was going to surprise you because I didn't even tell him what I was doing this weekend. But I texted and said I was going to surprise you. But I rented a hotel room all weekend, quiet. I said it was the most amazing experience. I laughed, I cried, and I'm texting him saying all this stuff. I'm like, it was absolutely incredible. Until I saved my document 100 times, 10, 20 times. And I got home to find out it's all gone. My document has been hacked, encrypted, something. I don't know, but it's been hacked and there's question marks. It's gone, all gone. And I go, so thank you. I go, I said, maybe this just isn't for me. And I did a little sad face and sent it off. And I'm telling you, my bully self was like, yeah, he's going to agree with me. Yeah, he's going to be like, you know what, Gina? Maybe you should stay in your lane. Just, stick to what you're good at. it's okay. You've been trying to do this book thing for 2 years. Just, it's okay, Gina. You're all right. You're doing some other big things. It's okay. Let it go. I thought for sure he was going to tell me that. For sure. But you know what he freaking says to me? He texts me back immediately and says, it sounds like to me the enemy is trying to stop you from sharing something really amazing. I was like, ooh, drop the mic. I just texted him back and said touche, because I'm like, I was expecting to say, Gina, you're good. You tried, let it go. Because, you know, I was just listening to Frozen and Disney music all weekend long, and Ugly Dolls and all these amazing Rise Up songs. And for me to expect my publisher, accountability partner, my friend to just say, give up, I don't know what I was thinking, why I would think that. But in other words, he told me that you have something amazing to share, and evidently the enemy is stopping you. So it made me take a deep breath, and it made me have this come to Jesus talk with myself, that maybe there is something that I'm supposed to share. Maybe there's a different word. Maybe whatever that is, I can't give up now. I wrote down a few things that I wanted to make sure. I'm going to look down and say it. But the words that came to my mind were keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. And the rain isn't permanent, right? Sometimes we feel like when crap is happening to us and we're in the middle of a storm and we're like, what just happened to my life? My life just fell freaking apart. And you know, but that's what my book talks about too, is how to rise up, how to breathe through the anxiety, how to breathe through the breakdown. I'm about to cry now because I spent all weekend writing my life away. Not away, but it was very passionate, and I'm really passionate about sharing my story, but I'm more passionate about changing other people's lives that feel like they can't do something because of a disability, or because of their ADD, or because of their anxiety, or their depression, or, you know, their bully within themselves. The doubts that we put upon ourselves is so deep sometimes. Crap! Sorry. But the rain is not permanent. The rain and the storm and the shit storm is not permanent. There's sunlight on the other side. So you can't be shaken. This cannot shake me. This is just going to make me stronger, right? And so it forces me, instead of giving up, although I wanted to, I was this close of giving up, guys. And I know you can relate. You probably have experienced that in your lifetime. But when you know you've been called to do something, okay, let's start there. When you know you've been called, you know you're meant for something bigger and greater. And it doesn't mean like you have to be an author or some ginormous influencer with 1 million followers. That's not what I'm talking about. It can be the smallest wins that you know that you're meant for, that you know you're called to do. Maybe it's to go help a neighbor. Maybe it's to go volunteer somewhere. Maybe it's to write a book or devotional, or to get on stage and talk about that story that you need to share. Whatever that is, don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on that task, that goal. Push through, because the season of the storm, and it's true, they say this all the time, that the blessings and the light and the rewards of your obedience is on the other side. They always say that the wins are just past all the 100 failures, all the 100 times that you wanted to give up. That success is on that side. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But I want that for you guys, and I wanted to share my story with you, so that way, if you're struggling with, maybe you gave up on something already. Maybe you gave up on something. Maybe you're giving up on something. Maybe you know you're meant for more. Whatever. God dang it. I just did my makeup for you guys. Now I'm crying. And you know you're meant for more. Just don't give up, okay? This is a season of how strong are you? And if you don't feel like you're very strong, push through it. Prove yourself that you are. Prove to yourself, not anybody else, but prove to yourself that you are strong and that you've got this. And that's the only reason why I have been, I want to say winning. And I say that in a humbly way, not bragging, but because I've got a journey ahead of me. I've got things I want to do, and there's things that I have achieved and I've been doing, but it's still very hard to win your battles. It is hard. Success or losing 10 pounds was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right? But it's not easy. Success and getting rid of the bully within us is not easy. But I have to remind myself, one, who I am, who Gina is, through Christ, and align it through the Word of God. I have to remind myself I am strong. I am capable. I can write this book. And you know what? I will. Gina, you will. That's what I tell myself. And that's something that you have to learn to tell yourself too. You've got to, in the midst of a storm, tell yourself you got this and pick yourself back up. Cry, let it all out, and pick yourself back up the next day. Start over. So I thought I was able to talk about it. That's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys was the major crisis I had last weekend. And I couldn't talk about it for a couple days until now. But I thought I would share it. So guys, pray for me and this book that it will get done. I will be 51 in September. My goal was to have it done by then. I don't know if it's going to be done by 51, but it'll be done this year. So with your prayers and all your positive vibes coming my way, I appreciate it. I send my positive vibes onto you guys so you guys can achieve anything that you want to achieve. And if you make it a priority and believe in yourself, it's going to happen. That's all you have to do is make it a priority and believe in yourself. Even when you don't believe in yourself. Like, do I believe I'm a freaking writer? No. But I'm going to prove myself wrong that I can do this. And you guys do the same thing. I love you guys. I'm going to go back and read the comments and talk to you guys through after we hang up here. But love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend and be bold and confident. Bye, guys.